case against Julian Assange is a false one. It's a farce. It's never been real. It's just the U.S. government coming after a journalist for doing, I don't know, what journalists are made to do. They're made to be watchdogs on the environment, not to be their lapdogs, not to be their personal friends. Okay? That's what the U.S. government is supposed to, or that's what the U.S. media, that's what all media around the world is supposed to do. They're not supposed to be some kind of friend of the U.S. government, of the Australian government, of the U.K. government, of the Canadian government, of the Germanic government, the Canadian government, the French government. All governments are supposed to be checked. But in the United States, for example, that's not the case. That's how we get these cases against Julian Assange, Edward Snowden, Chelsea Manning, and a whole bunch of others. Daniel Ellsberg, who revealed that we were using Agent Orange, and was it napalm in Vietnam or something like that, and the Vietnam Papers. And then it took decades for people to go, oh my God, Daniel Ellsberg is amazing. He's a hero because he revealed what was going on in Vietnam. Now it's taking minutes on social media because people realize it, but the normal people, they're okay with Julian Assange because he's revealing what the government is doing against taxpayers' wishes. So anyway, the case against Julian Assange is falling apart, and it turns out a key witness is lying. A major witness in the United States Department of Justice's case against Julian Assange, has admitted to fabricating key accusations in the indictment against the former WikiLeaks founder. The witness, who has a documented history with sociopathy and has received several convictions for sexual abuse of minors and wide-ranging financial fraud, made the recent admission to having continued his crime spree whilst working with the Department of Justice and the FBI and receiving a promise of immunity from prosecution. This is the key witness for the U.S. With a history of mental illness, mental health illness, sex illness, sexually abusive, a sexually abusive abuser against minors, in money embezzlement. Just incredible. That's the guy that the U.S. government has as a key witness. This is who the FBI works with. This is their stand-up. This is how good stand-up people they are. Such good people. This is who the FBI works with, on the regular. When someone says, an FBI informant? When someone says FBI informant, that's what they mean. Working with criminals who have criminal minds, not the show. I know, you're like, what? Criminal minds. And they try to frame someone. They try to frame someone, and so they get this guy who commits sexual crimes going to prison, and the FBI comes and says, hey, lie about Julian Assange, and then we'll let you off. And they did. And they do. So he admitted that he kept his crime spree going while working with the Department of Justice and the FBI. Wow. That's your guy, U.S. government. How amazing. Hey, lie for us. Oh my God. Sugger Thorstenson is his name. Thorstenson was recruited by the U.S. authorities to build a case against Julian Assange after misleading them to believe he was previously a close associate of Julian Assange. Hey, We need a professional liar who has been found guilty for embezzlement and sex crimes and has been an FBI informant. That's what we need. Wow. And you're going to find out, no, they were not close associates. In fact, he committed a crime against Julian Assange himself. So let's take a look at this. So, in fact, he volunteered on a limited basis to raise money for WikiLeaks in 2010. But then he was found to have used, let me fix that here. But then he was found to have used that opportunity to embezzle more than $50,000 against WikiLeaks. So you get a guy who goes to testify against, Assange. He got caught and was convicted for stealing from WikiLeaks. This, ladies and gentlemen, is their star witness. A guy who stole from WikiLeaks, a guy who has committed sex crimes against minors, financial fraud, and embezzlement, and has a whole bunch of other crimes on his record, and convictions too. It's not like, oh, he has never been found guilty. No, he's been found guilty and convicted. This is their guy. This is their guy. It matters because there's no case. WikiLeaks investigation. Let me fix that. WikiLeaks' investigation. WikiLeaks' investigation into the let me read that again. WikiLeaks' investigation into the I can't read. WikiLeaks' investigation into the embezzlement is what led the young man to turn into state's evidence. One of the charges in the indictment of Assange, based on Thornton's testimony, is that he tried Assange to hack into the computers of members of parliament and record their conversations. Thornton says that Assange never asked him to do either of those things. You know why? Because that would be a crime, and it wouldn't occur to Assange to commit a crime, because he's a journalist and he understands the laws, and more than likely WikiLeaks has really good, highly paid lawyers, and they'll tell him, Mr. Assange, that's not what we should do. Turns out this huge evidence, this smoking gun, never happened. It was made up by a serial criminal. And the U.S. government is trusting him because they know there is no goddamn case against this man. None. He's a journalist. Thornton also alleged in the indictment that he and Assange had attempted to decrypt a file stolen from an Icelandic bank. Thornton now says that the file in question had been leaked, not stolen, from a defunct bank, presumably by a whistleblower inside the bank, and had been shared online by many others, all of whom were trying to decrypt it to understand what had precipitated the 2008 financial crisis. So a publisher can publish that, guys. You can, and it's not a crime if you publish it. If it's leaked already, the world can already see it, you can publish it, and it's not a crime. But if Assange did steal it, that would be a crime. But see, Assange never committed a crime. He never committed a crime. He just published the material. But the U.S. is just trying to put him away, again, for exposing war crimes by the United States government. That's why. The indictment further claims that Assange used an unauthorized access given to him by a source to log into an Icelandic government website. In reality, the login was legally Thorntonson's, and Assange never asked for it. Thorntonson now says. Yeah, hey, it's like, Assange, this guy had an HBO Max passcode or a, account, or maybe a Hulu account, a Netflix account, and, Disney Plus, or, I don't know, just regular HBO, Showtime, Paramount Plus, and Assange just said, like, yo, dude, can I borrow your login real quick? It's like any of us sharing our login with our friends. It is as absurd as it sounds. The U.S. government using a witness convicted of so many crimes, sex crimes against minors, financial fraud, money embezzlement, and a whole bunch of other crap, just to get Assange on something that is garbage. Now, Edward Snowden kind of weighed in from Russia. This is the end of the case against Julian Assange. Now, Glenn Greenwald, one of the best journalists of our generation, who has revealed a bunch of crazy stories, a bunch of stories that the U.S. media will never report. He weighed in and replied to, and he said, it should be, but I wouldn't doubt that the United States comes up with another guy to say garbage against him. And he's absolutely right. If this falls apart like it is, the U.S. government will say, back to the drawing board. They'll find somebody else who might know Assange, has associated with himself with him, linked himself, or probably just a random guy in San Quentin prison, and say, you need to lie to us about Julian Assange, and we'll let you go. And a prisoner is absolutely going to go for it, obviously. What an incredible story that Julian Assange never did any of the shit that he's being persecuted for, and they're torturing him, trying to kill him over there in Belmarsh prison in London. Just because of the United States. And them going after him for exposing war crimes. In 2007, the Apache helicopters incident, Democrats hate him because of the WikiLeaks, but mainly it's for the war crimes. Left and right. Previously, the Donald Trump administration. Previous to that, the Obama administration. And now, the war criminal, warmongering, crime bill writing, Patriot Act co-writer and voter and bankruptcy bill writer and Wall Street giving man, person. Joe Biden is now coming after him. And by the way, if Chris Hayes said like one nice thing and said, oh yeah, he's a journalist, WikiLeaks is not some Russian thing. I don't know if he said that, but basically that's the nicest thing you could have said. He could have said, I doubt MSNBC is covering this. And if any of you trust the U.S. media, you're a chump. Honestly. Cause ain't no way they're touching this story. Just like the OPCW story where, that they're not ever gonna touch. They'll never tell you the truth about Julian Assange because it would destroy them and it would show that they're liars.